Hey there, crafters. Welcome back to Gina Creates. Today I'm going to show you two different ways on how you can make my daisy paper flowers using my SVG template or my printable PDF. First, I'm going to show you how to make my giant 22-inch daisy paper flower using my SVG template and my Cricut machine. I will also be using a standard grit mat and my colored cardstock, hot glue gun, scissors, a Cricut scraper, a wooden dowel, or you can use a thick marker, just something smooth to curl your petals. And then I have some blue painter's tape that I use to hold down my cardstock. And then for hanging purposes, you can use a styrofoam plate along with some floral wire. And you will also need a ruler and an X-Acto knife if you want to use these printable PDFs. I will show you later on in the video how to use those. Next thing you're going to do is head over to GinaCCreates.com to download my daisy flower template. And if you are a member, you will get the notification to download it for free. And after 5 days, it will be available in my shop. So depending on what file you download, it will be for personal use or if you paid for the commercial license. And you will find in the folder two different sizes. I have a 22-inch and a 14-inch, and then you will get the 4 cut files and the 3 PDF files. So to open up the SVG, we're going to first open up Cricut Design Space, and we're going to open up the 22-inch folder and select the SVG file. If you're on a Windows PC, it might display as a Internet HTML. Upload that file and save it to your library and add it to your canvas. And the first thing we're going to do is make sure it is the correct size, and it should be 10.5 in height. And after that, we are going to ungroup it, and it will be in 3 different groups. So next you have your spiral center, we have the petals, and then we have the circle base. And for the petals, it has a group inside because it has cut lines within the group. And we are just going to attach that group together so those cut lines can stay intact. And then for the spiral center, you can see that it also has cut lines with it. And we just need to make sure those are attached to the shape underneath. So we just select the whole group and hit attach. And if you like, before attaching, you can change the colors to suit your project. It's totally up to you. So after we have these attached, we are going to duplicate, because for the 22-inch paper flower, you need 2 spiral centers. And then for the petals, we need 16. So you can copy and paste the petals, or you can just hit duplicate to make a new set. And the reason why I don't create the file with 16 petals, it's just because it becomes a really big file, and you would have to attach the cut line to each petal. So it's better to just prep it once and then duplicate that petal. And we're just going to make sure we have 16 in total. And once we do, we are ready to cut. So once you click make, it should prompt you to save your project, so you don't have to do these steps again. So just make sure you save them so you can make them quicker for next time. And I also like to change my material settings to the paper size that I'm using. So I just change it to 8.5 by 11. And this just makes sure that none of my shapes are getting cut off. So another thing I want to show you, now that we're ready to cut, I like to rotate my mat, because Sometimes the stickiness gets too dull since we're always using the top left corner. So you can rotate your mat the other way so you can use the other side for the stickiness. And then I also like to use blue painter's tape to hold down the corners just to keep your cardstock secure on the mat. And then now we're just going to load up our cardstock and just cut out each layer at a time. And once it's done cutting out, the easiest way to take your cardstock off the mat is to flip over your mat and bend it back while keeping your cardstock flat on the surface. And then we're just going to finish cutting out 16 of these petals. And we also have a circle base that we will be using. And I have these slits cut around the circle so we know where to put our petals. So we're going to use those as guidelines. And just make sure you use that Cricut scraper to clean off your mat before you lay down the next piece of cardstock. And now we're going to cut out our 2 spiral centers. And this just cuts a whole bunch of slits in the center of your cardstock. And we'll be able to use this as a spiral center. So I have all my shapes cut out now. I have my 2 centers, I have my circle base, and my 16 petals. So next we are going to curl our petals and give them a little bit of texture of a realistic flower. So this is where I'm using my smooth wooden dowel. You can also use a thick marker. And we are just going to fold it over and add some curls to it. So you place the dowel in the center of your petal and fold it like a hot dog, and then place the dowel behind the petal and curl it over to have your petals go outwards. And then the slit at the bottom, you're just going to apply some hot glue and overlap them so it can prop it to sit up a little bit. And we're just going to do that for all of our 16 petals. And then we will be able to arrange it. So now that we're ready to arrange, we're going to use those slit lines as guides on where to place our petal. So you just need to put a pea-sized amount of hot glue in between that space, and then just place your prepped petals all the way around. So you should have an outer layer of 8, and then on the inner layer it will have 8 as well. And for the inner layer, you're going to make sure you place them in the center of the petals in the back, so you'll have a full daisy to work with. And for the spiral center, we're going to fold it over in half long ways, and we're not going to crease it because we want that round top. So once we glue down one side, we can pinch it and roll it until it meets the other end. And then you can apply hot glue to keep it closed. And I'm just unrolling it to add a little bit to the center and roll it again with more hot glue. And then once it reaches the end, you can take that second piece of the center, fold it over in half like you did before, apply hot glue to one end, and then wrap it around the rest of it and use hot glue to keep it closed. And then we're going to get the hot glue gun and pour it in the center of your daisy and hold your center in place and make sure it's dry. And now you're all done with your big paper flower. Now you can also create these daisies without a cutting machine by using my printable PDF. You'll just need a printer and scissors and an X-Acto blade and a ruler. I have instructions on the base circle PDF, and I just printed these out straight onto my colored cardstock. And for my 14-inch template, you will need to print out 4 sheets of the petals because there's 4 petals on each PDF, so that will make 16. And then for the 22-inch PDF has 2 petals, so you will need 8 sheets of those. And after you're done cutting out all the shapes, I will show you how to make my spiral center. I am just using a straight edge and my X-Acto knife, and I'm just cutting along the black slits in the center, and then I'm just going to cut out the rectangle, and now I have my spiral center. And before we put this flower together, I want to show you how to create a base to hang it. And I'm just going to use a styrofoam plate and my circle base and trace it onto my plate and then cut that circle out. And then I'm just going to save this circle for later. So after my flower is done, I'll show you how to attach it so you can hang it on a wall. Now I'm going to curl my petals like I did before, just using a smaller, skinnier marker and making sure it's smooth so you don't get any crease marks. You just fold it over like a hot dog, and then you fold on the back side to make them go out. And since these are printed, you might have the print lines showing, so just make sure you're folding correctly so the print is on the back side. Unless you cut it and trimmed it all the way off completely. I still had some of the black prints on the back, so I just make sure that I folded my paper flower petals the correct way, so all that printing is hidden on the back side. And the same for your spiral center when you fold it over. So you just put this flower together the same way you would the 22-inch paper flower. And once we have this all down with our hot glue, we are going to do the spiral center. So just make sure you fold that over with the print cut lines are on the inside, and then use your hot glue and roll it and hold it closed while it dries. Add the hot glue to the center of your daisy and hold it in place until it dries as well. And that's how you would do it with the printable PDF. And to make them hang and add a little bit more sturdiness to the back, we're going to use that circle from a styrofoam plate and some floral wire. So I'm just going to cut my floral wire. You can cut it a little bit longer just so you can tie it on the other side. But we're just going to pop each end of the wire through the sides of the circle on the top. So just make sure it has enough slack for it to hang. And then on the other side, which is going to be the inside, we are just going to tie it, or you can curl it to make sure it won't slip through. And we're going to add hot glue on top of this so it doesn't move. And then we'll add hot glue all over the circle and add it to the back of our flower. And now you have a hanging wire so you can easily hang it and take it down for decorations. I hope you guys enjoyed my tutorial on how to make my daisy paper flowers. Let me know how you like to make yours with or without a cutting machine. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.